Hi, it's Lee from Colouring Queen, and today I've got all the colours of the world, Maria Trolle's Christmas colouring book. You can see it up against Secret Garden, Flora, one of Maria's previous colouring books, so that you can get an idea of sizing and thickness. You will see that it is bigger or longer than Secret Garden, but thinner in thickness than Flora colouring book. The cover has a texture to it. It's a beigey colour with copper foiling around here. We've got some gold stars foiling on there, and it's got slight texture to it. So am thinking that I might need to cover it with plastic because I think it's going to get dirty. So we've got the introductory protective paper. That's a beautiful shade of blue with the pre-printed snowflakes on it. Copyright page and a title page. That's where I'm going to test out some mediums later in the video. At the end of the video, I'll put the translation of the introduction here. And now we get to the actual illustrations. Now there are 40 and they're well centered on the page. There's a real variety of illustrations. And did you notice they're single-sided illustrations? So we'll see how they work with the alcohol markers soon. The other thing that I noticed about this book is to me that the illustrations are a lot smaller than in her previous books that usually take up far more of the page. And some of them don't have as much detail, which, after thinking about it, I thought that was a good thing because Christmas is only once a year and I don't want to spend too long colouring each page. But there's a real variety here. So we've got things like the bushel of wheat, we've got little people, we've got little birds, people, fruit, botanicals. Some illustrations have a border around them, and some like this don't. And these aren't overly Christmassy, but they're part of that cozy thing. And we've got the candle set up there. So we've got the cute little mouse here. It's a nice, thick, dull black line too, which is a good line weight, so it's pretty easy to see for those with a minor visual impairment. And we've got the little deer and shooting star. So again, it doesn't scream Christmas, but it's all part of that. If you're in Europe or on the other side of the world, that warm winter spirit that you have for Christmas, other than us in Australia that are melting. So we've got the gorgeous snowman here. And I guess these are Christmas trees in the background, or they could be. You could decorate them. We've got paper that is ivory. It feels quite smooth with a slight little texture to it. I'll be interested to see what it performs like because this is a new publisher, so I'll be interested to see what the paper feels like. I believe it is 150 GSM by the feel of it, but I could be wrong. I really love all these sweets, and look at the little elf, little pixie, little elf, maybe pixie, elf. And isn't this one gorgeous? We've got the dotted lines there so that you can make those into cloud shapes or whatever you fancy. And I love how there's a border around, but elements go outside of it to give it that little dimension. And the images seem a lot simpler than her other books, but they've still got enough detail, I think, to keep you interested. Now, all of this fur is lighter black, and then we have the antlers there in a darker line. We've got this very detailed pair of jingle bells, and it's made super cute by the little fairies there. Now, this one's not overly Christmassy. We've just got the bells and the bow there, but it's Christmassy enough, and you could probably colour that any time of year. But see what I mean about how smaller these are compared to her other books. We've got a nice little castle scene with Santa and his reindeer there. Now, they are very small. And we've got this beautiful bear looking at the northern lights. So some of you that are really good at doing that will enjoy colouring that. I personally really like these ones with the elves wrapping up the presents. Maybe put some wallpaper in the back and zhuzhy it up a bit. But there's room on here to do backgrounds and do all sorts of detail. And because she's done the single-sided, you should be able to use markers, but we'll soon find out. Now, this is stitched, so it should lay down really easily soon. And we've got like a little pageant here. It looks like the three wise men, but it's not because they're not looking like the wise men. And isn't this gorgeous? So there's a bit of whimsy in the pictures, and then there's just the cuteness, like the bears are hibernating, and they've got the beautiful little lights there. So cute. Here's Santa. He's getting closer now. The images are slightly larger than they were on the previous page. We've got the smoke coming out of the chimney and just snow on everything. You can see the weight weighing it down on the trees there. Just a gorgeous picture. We've got one of Santa's helpers there. Lots of little mistletoe and berries around. But, I mean, I like this one. The cat's up there with all the boxes. I mean, we all know what cats are like. They see the boxes, they want to be in it. I think I'm going to colour this one like Millie and just make the mouth a little bit downturned like Millie's is. And it's a really gorgeous picture. We've got the Hansel and Gretel house, or the gingerbread house. I always call it the Hansel and Gretel house. Lots of candy canes there, and you really have a lot of fun with that one. Looks like she's licking her lips, her little tongue's sticking up there. That'd be me. And the gingerbread men all playing around the Christmas tree. Another fun one. And I really like these little cozy ones, just sitting there with your cat, having some Danishes, just enjoying the preliminary to Christmas. We've got the beautiful candles in amongst the mushrooms. That's a really cute little image as well. You could do a lot there with the flames and whatnot around it. And then a small image here of the fox just out and about with the sun coming up. So dawn by the looks of it. And then having a little ski down the slopes. It's not really Christmassy, except she's got the Christmas present. And finally, there's Santa, the little elf and the Christmas tree, another little elf in the background, and trapsing off. And then we've got the protective paper at the back and the back of the book. So let's dive in and see how these single pages work with a variety of pencils and wet media and some pan pastels as well, because there's a lot of background here. So we'll see what they look like with those. Okay, let's test out the Copic first. I do have a piece of paper behind it because I'm pretty sure it's going to go through. And I have used a lighter coloured marker and using it up against the edge just in case it does go through the paper. But I know many people love to colour with markers, so even if it bleeds through to the other side, you could just put more paper through it because these single-sided pages will help. Now that's a zig, and that's water-based, just like this Tombow is. I'm not seeing any pilling on the paper or anything like that. The Tombow you can also add water to, so we'll give it a little bit of water. It's a nice vibrant colour, that one. Now it hasn't peeled even with adding the water. The Neocolor II, I'm just putting that direct down, and we'll add a bit of water to that. Oh, beautiful colour. And let's try the Inktense. And add some water to it. Ooh, what a lime green that one is. So that's the last of our wet media. Let's let that dry and we'll come back and see how it went. So starting with the pencils, we've got some Prismacolor here, just going to blend two. These are the Premiers. And very quickly put some color down. It seems to be going well on the paper, but just one layer is not flattening the tooth. There's still little marks there, so we'll have to go in for a second one. I'm pressing a little bit firmer now, and it is flattening the tooth. Does feel like it could take a lot more, but I'm liking the color, and on that second layer, it is blending in now, which is good. I make my circles a little bit too big to get through the the video quickly. That's why I haven't gone the whole way. And now this is the Prismacolor Scholar. So a lot of people find that the Prismacolor Premiers are out of their price range, but the Scholar are the sort of more the student brand, but I actually think they're really good. Uh, they don't come in as many colors, but they are a lot cheaper, and you can blend colors together to form different colors, add whites and whatnot. Now, you might need another layer just to flatten down a bit more, but I actually think you're getting quite a lot of color and pigment and a really nice color as well, just from these little scholars. I think they come in a set of 100. I don't know. I think they're quite good. Let's try the Arrtx pencils. So, going on pretty smoothly. It's a nice lime color there. Chartreusey. I haven't chosen the best color to blend this in. I just picked up randomly two that were green barreled. But it's not bad. They feel a bit harder than the Prismacolors, which if you find the Prismacolors too soft, that might be a pencil for you. And going back in again, that tooth is flattening out and it seems pretty good, other than my bad selection of colors. Going in with the Polychromos. So these are oil-based. They go down very smoothly. It seems to be loving the paper. And quickly going over. Now I'm trying to do these sessions quicker so that you don't waste your time watching. And actually that's pretty good, isn't it? So that's why I've switched to two colors. I'm making my circles a little bit smaller so that we're not here all day waiting for me to blend something out. And that's flattened down. I had pressed a little bit firmer in the beginning. I think you might only need one layer. So the polys seem to be pretty good. Let's go with the Colleen's, one of my favorite little budget pencils. I really love them. I've got so many sets of these, it's embarrassing. I went into my workroom the other day and I found another 4 boxes of them. Not of the 120, I've only got one box of those, but of the 72. I must have gone mad at one stage and just bought so many. Um, so I'll never run out, I guess. But I wish I bought a few of the 120 set because I don't use them because they're a bit hard to get in Australia. So I've been trying to use up the 72 sets. So they're blending pretty well. I've Gotta say, probably not as good as some of the other brands I've just tried, but certainly good enough, and especially if you took a bit of time with it. Let's try the Holbeins. So I've got 2 here from the set of 12 pastels. So it's going on. I'm finding the pencil a bit hard. It's already paining on my wrist a bit because I'm pressing probably a little bit harder than I need to with a Prismacolor, for example. But they do go on very well. And on that second layer, they're even smoother. And now you don't need to be quite as firm with them because you've already got some sort of slip there, and it's a lot easier for me, at least, on that second layer. Now, bear in mind, what might be hard for me might not be hard for you. I have a wrist injury, so any sort of firm pressure on it does hurt me. So let's try the Black Widows. Going on pretty smoothly. I'm feeling like they're very creamy and smudgy, but not necessarily pressing down, but we'll see what happens. And we've got that second color there. It's going in, and it is pushing down on that tooth. I don't feel it's producing as much pigment and coverage as some of the others that we've just done. But on this second layer, it is pushing down that tooth, and maybe we'll get more color. Okay. Yep, not too bad. I just don't feel it's that easy to color on this paper with them. But obviously it just could be my technique. I just feel that some of the other pencils earlier on were a lot easier to color on the page. The Staedtler Ergosoft. Now these work, really well in a lot of books. Joanna Basford's, for instance, seem to be pretty good on the paper. You're not going to get the wild, beautiful pigments of, say, the Polys or the Prismas or the Holbeins, because they're not really that expensive, these pencils, and so therefore they have less pigment. But I think they are pretty good, and they seem to be pretty good on this paper. I mean, and going on okay, and pigment looks all right. We'll give it a second round and see if it pushes down the paper a little bit. Okay. It is pushing down, but I don't feel like we're getting more color. But we are actually, now that I step back a bit and look back from it. Perhaps not as smooth as the others, but still not bad. We'll have a look at it close up in a minute. Now let's try the pan pastels, because there's a lot of background on some of these pages, so you might need to do a pastel background. So I'm just going to take a little bit of blue and haven't used these for a while, so we'll just smudge a little bit out. It's going on very smoothly on the paper, as you would expect. Not minding that at all. Get a little bit more of a different color. That's not bad. Now, obviously, you'll have to put fixative on this, or otherwise it's going to transfer to the other page. But just to see how it goes, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't really use these pan pastels, and I actually found them in the cupboard the other day, and they'd been stored upside down, so some of the little containers had lost a lot of product all over the place. But look, it seems pretty good. I add in some purple. You'd have fun all day here, couldn't you? But yeah, obviously you're going to need to put some fixative on that, or otherwise it's going to transfer over. But so we've tried a few different things on there. They all look pretty good. So let's have a look close up. And you can probably see which ones that you like the best. But remember, we all have different coloring techniques and styles, and I am injured at the moment. So let's see what went through onto the other page. And as predicted, the Copic marker has ghosted through to the other side. So if you are going to use markers on these single-sided pages, make sure that you put a lot of padding in between so that you don't go through onto the other side. Maybe a silicone mat, or at least some thick cardboard or sheets of paper. So that's it from me. Until next time, stay safe and happy coloring.